Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Gabrielle Hughes and I'm Content Marketing Manager here at ProsperWorks. In today's session, we're going to be discussing 4 ways to combat summer seasonality. We're joined by Brittanys Perez, who's a Sales Manager here at ProsperWorks. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please submit them in the questions pane of your GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll address them during the 10-minute question-answer session at the end. A recording of today's webinar will also be available after the broadcast. So I'm going to turn it over to Britt. Oops. And she's going to give a quick intro.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittanys Perez. I'm an inside sales manager here at ProsperWorks. I'm not going to go into the in-depth facts here, but yeah, pretty obvious. First female manager here. I'm one of 2 AE managers inside. I was part of the President's Club last year as a senior AE. It's something that we recently implemented to incentivize our reps to obviously hit their quotas. And I do have a cat named Elliot, so shout out to all of my cat lovers out there before we hop in. So to give those of you who aren't familiar with ProsperWorks a bit of a background, for the first section here, ProsperWorks is able to automate tasks and eliminate a lot of data entry. For general users and salespeople, this is obviously huge. The constant need to enter data into the system kind of feeds into what we call the CRM adoption crisis. So a lot of systems make it difficult for you to access them, resulting in huge gaps in data entry. So the fact that we're able to automate a lot of that makes it so that those gaps go away and you have a constant stream of communication with your clients. Second thing here is for managers. Get visibility into analytics and activity. So you're able to see what your team is doing to help you coach them to success. Third thing here, we are the only CRM officially recommended by Google. Our system is built on that Google platform. So what I typically tell my clients is that Google basically did your shopping for you. They gave us that backing to make it an easy decision for their clients. And then final thing here is that we are able to build and streamline a repeatable process. So that allows the team to follow the same process internally, resulting in a much quicker ramp time for those reps and less need to worry about what your team is saying and doing because they're all following those same steps. So coming into the third slide here, the obvious theme of the presentation is combating summer seasonality. So causes of seasonality: people go on vacation, especially in Europe. We find that basically the whole continent just kind of shuts down during the summer. The second thing here, summer hours. So people are leaving for vacation a bit sooner on Fridays, want to leave earlier for happy hours, come in later with the sunshine, so we see that drop as well. And then the third thing here is just general Q3 usage drop. So we'll see just a general drop in our users accessing the systems. We want to keep driving that throughout the summer to obviously combat that seasonality. So ProsperWorks is no different than any other organization. Year over year, we fight the same battle, summer seasonality. As most of you know, our system can track the trailing 12 months of ups and downs in revenue for individuals and the team. So with that information, we've recognized the reasons why this happens, and we've established ways to fight it, which we'll share with you right now. So coming into, oh, and by the way, we'll take questions at the very end of the conversation. So go ahead and type them in for now, but we'll hop into those at the very end. Cool. Okay, so coming back here, the first thing that we've done as an organization is really targeted lead lists. So we want to get creative with those lead lists, and some of the ways we've done this internally is the one thing is to filter by last contacted, date added, inactive days, or location to find a list that works for the time of day or region that you're calling into. So I mentioned before that we have that issue with European leads, so we might dial down calling into those, for example. We have a lead gen team here that calls into new trial signups in the system. However, like every company, the older leads don't get called enough because we always want the new shiny toy. So I have my reps calling all trial signups outside of 14 days because they're typically not getting touched nearly as much. We've certainly found some gold in there this summer. If you're in the US on the West Coast, call the East Coast early in the morning. We typically see that region dips off around lunchtime, our time. So if you don't get in front of those leads, you lose the opportunity to call them for the day. We also might stay a bit later to call or demo Australia and New Zealand around 5 p.m. Pacific. Otherwise, again, they won't get called and you lose out there as well. Then the final thing is summer is not the best time for us to call that region because they're all on vacation. We focus on a lot of US business during the summer. If you have a deal with a European company going into May or June, try your best to identify the timeline for close before they head out for vacation. Next slide, expansion. So what expansion means is this is the addition of more licenses or seats or people on a current account at ProsperWorks. What we've done, and by the way, expansion is the second largest driver of revenue besides new business here for us. So a mature rep could typically see 25% of their quota number or more coming directly from expansion. So this is a huge focus for us. With it being summer, we're making a proactive effort to drive expansion by calling into accounts that have closed outside of 2 months back. So with your team, you should decide when that new client is stable and healthy and work off of that timeline. So for us, we typically see our clients really kick off around that 2-month mark when they are trained and comfortable with the system. So we can use filters in ProsperWorks to sort and filter by those accounts that have been closed in the past and access those accounts that way. We use support and sales ops as a resource to pull active, healthy customers for expansion. So we want to track their activity, track their usage, make sure that the ones that we're contacting are those that are actually going to be receptive to expansion. We have other ways of contacting those that are not using it as much, but for expansion purposes, it's going to be those healthy accounts. And then final thing here, for those reps that have closed larger accounts, we want to make sure that there is a solid plan for consistent follow-up, like monthly check-ins, quarterly reviews, growth plans, etc. So healthy, active companies are always a large source of expansion for our senior reps. Coming down to referrals. So for setting your clients up for success, if teams do not go through onboarding, we offer onboarding services for certain teams of certain sizes. I'm making sure that my reps are scheduling initial meetings to train those teams effectively. We need to check in consistently with our clients. The system has a feature called an automated action or task automation that prompt our reps to reach out 1 month after closing an opportunity in the system. So with that, each person should be calling in with a purpose. I would suggest unique industry ideas that will help the client process and make them more successful with the system and as an organization. And then after that, asking for referrals will just seem natural. And what I always tell my team is to know about the industries that you're selling into. We train all of our reps on how to manage the countless unique industries that we manage, from real estate to tech startups to private equity to solar. By the time that a rep is mature at ProsperWorks, they could easily work at any of the companies that they sell into because they know the ins and outs of those kinds of companies. Our clients really trust that the recommendations that we're making during the demo or onboarding process because we familiarized ourselves with their process. So referrals, again, just come easier that way. And then the final idea here is holding contests or competitions internally. So what we've named our July competition is Summer Slam. It's a wrestling focus. So with this competition, daily activity winners get a ticket. So for demo set or number of calls made or customer facing time or revenue closed for the day. All tickets earned that week are put into a prize drawing at the end of the week. Those prizes could be a soccer game, champagne, spa day for the ladies, things like that. Then the most tickets for that week gets put into the drawing for the master prize, which is a trip to Vegas, Palm Springs, Tahoe, or a similar destination. What's great about this competition is that we've asked each member of the sales team to create a wrestling name. So some of the ones that we have this round are the Big Swiss Cheese, El Suavecito, the Russian Assassin, and Chilean Sea Bass. So it makes it more fun when you're shouting out those winners for the day. We want to keep it fun. So with this, anyone can win at any time. We want to make sure that the younger reps still feel like they have a chance at winning things, so those daily competitive metrics are easily attainable by even the newer reps on the team. So it's not always the senior reps winning those larger prizes. The prizes are worth it, so we want to pull in ideas that can relate to anyone. So we typically offer like 5 or 10 options for each person so that there's something for everyone. And then obviously just get everyone talking. A little bit of smack talking is fun, replying all to the thread about the update, just inciting a little bit of competition into your other team members can make it a successful competition.
Awesome. Well, we are ready for questions. So if you guys have questions, please submit them now so Britt can address them. Let's see what's come in. Wendy's wondering, is this available for replay? I would like to show my boss this. Absolutely. I will send out a recorded version of the presentation afterwards, as well as a slide deck. Are there any other questions that you guys have? What's the best website for finding businesses with foreign expansion? Just great.
Can you elaborate on that question? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry about that.
Best website for finding businesses with foreign expansion. Just great.
Like, are you talking about leads? Again, the definition of expansion is going to be any current client that is adding additional licenses or seats or members to the team that are using ProsperWorks. So that could be for you like selling additional products or services. So there's actually no external system required to pull in those expansion items. So you can just go into your current CRM that you're using. If it's ProsperWorks, you can go in and look at all of your won opportunities in the opportunity section. So it's that $ on the left-hand side, filter by all your won opportunities, and then you can look at the individual owner as well for them to target their own accounts.
Cool. Is it better to send emails or call new clients to prospects?
Ooh, great question. I always recommend that you call a new client or a new prospect or even a current client. Obviously, email is a great secondary solution if you can't reach them, but I always find that we're able to find more creative solutions or even problems to solve while having that conversation live. So highly recommend call before email, but a good template is never bad.
Great. So what are some email templates you might send out, like just basic cold emails like for the summer? If you were to send an email instead of calling?
Yeah, so with our business here, we have a lot of inbound activity. So people are obviously actively seeking out a CRM online, searching maybe Google CRM, and that will result in an inbound lead for us. So typical template for us is going to be, hi, notice you downloaded a trial of ProsperWorks. Can we identify 5 minutes to get on the phone and learn about what you're looking for in a new solution? And then if you're reaching out cold, I like to keep it very high level. So if they have no idea who you are, what your business is, 3 bullet points as to what problems you solve that they can identify with will be a good way to tap into those new leads.
Here's an interesting question. How are you guys using ProsperWorks to keep track of the contest this summer?
Oh, great question. So we use tags in the system. So a tag is going to be it's basically a way to identify a certain record in the system. You can go in, there's a tag section. A tag that I would use is that you use the tag competition and tag all the records that would apply to that competition. And then at a later time, myself as a manager can go in and sort and filter by that tag and pull in all of the records that apply to that tag for the day or for the week.
Awesome. Another question about presentation, and yes, a recorded version will be sent out following our broadcast, along with a copy of the slides. Cool. Any other questions from you guys? If not, we can wrap things up.
Cool. All right, thanks everyone for attending. Like Gabby said, a copy will be sent out to all attendees.
Yeah.
And any further questions, feel free to write into sales@prosperworks.com.
Yep, perfect. Thanks, guys.